Hello and welcome to another session of Music Matters with Ev. And I cannot believe that it has been over a year since the last interview was on this channel. But I have got such a fantastic way to reintroduce these interviews as I bring onto the scene Scarlett Fagan.
Hi.
Hello, Scarlett. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I was just panicking a little bit because before you brought me in, like it said the browser couldn't support it. And I was like, oh no, like he's trying to get me in the chat and I can't do it. But it was just me panicking. But yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. And would you believe that it's been 16 months since the last interview with yourself?
Yeah, it's weird. It feels like it's just like time is this mad thing, but it feels like it was yesterday, but also it feels like it was like a really long time ago because so much has changed since then. So yeah, it's
Wow,
mad.
wow. And we're here to talk about a fantastic achievement by yourself and your team, and that is your album.
Yeah.
I remember the last time we spoke, you were mentioning the fact that you were preparing some songs for it. And in the meantime, you released a single
Hmm.
called Sugar, which
Yeah.
was awesome. I loved it. So
Thank you.
when you contacted me to say that the album has dropped and I started listening to it, I was just blown away. I was just blown away because, as we were mentioning before, it's easy to forget when you haven't heard someone for a while. It's easy to forget what they're capable of. But with your Sugar single,
Yeah.
what was most surprising and pleasurable was the use of your head resonance when you were putting it in that song,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you hardly used it before.
Yeah.
And I'm so pleased to say that on the album, it's used even more. And it sounds awesome.
Yes. Thanks.
So it's you got to keep using it now. You can't hide that
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's funny, like I never really used to use my head voice because in my mind, because I don't know why, just to me it sounded weaker, but obviously it's not weak. It's just different. So I am enjoying being a bit more dynamic with my vocals. So yeah.
Yeah, we are enjoying it too. All right, so let's get into this fact finding session, I'm going to call it, because I want to know
Okay.
everything about it. First of all, when was the decision made to do an album?
So we were talking about this the other day, funnily enough, and we actually, I say we, like the guy that produced my album, Matthew Dyer, he came up with the idea to do an album. So he'd um we met on Instagram, and then he wanted my vocals on. I think he did an EP. So he wrote the song and everything, and I just recorded the vocals for him. So we knew each other through that. And then towards the end of 2019, he just sent me a message literally out of the blue and was like, look, I think your voice is amazing. I think we should do an album. Send me songs that you like and I'll start producing it. So it became an idea in 2019. And I, at the time, had a bit of a self sabotage like thing in me. So he sent me these songs and I was just like, oh, great. And then I just didn't start writing until like 2020. And I'd already decided at the beginning of 2020 that I was going to be like, right, Scarlett, you're going to apply yourself to this now and you're going to write these bloody songs. Um, but then, of course, the lockdown came along and I was like, actually, this is perfect. This means I'm just going to really apply myself to this big time. So, yeah.
Good, 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 good. So from the end of 2019 until now in
Mm-hmm.
2022, that's a long time.
Mm,
But it just goes to show the tenacity that's required when you're doing your own thing
yeah.
musically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then you answered the second question I was going to ask. Did you write all new songs for the album, or did you use some that were already written before?
So, yeah, all new songs that are on the album at the moment. There was another song that we actually left off. We're going to save it as a bonus, which I did write a long time ago, but it's been changed and added to in order to fit with the track that Matt produced. So, yes and no. You can't hear the song that was already written because it's not on the album right now, but at some point it will be available. So, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. All right. And the process from the end of 2019 until June this year, well, May this year, should I say? When did the actual recording process start? And talk us through the actual putting together of the project to its completion. So he mentioned to you that he wants to help you write your album or produce your album, and to get the songs ready. Then what?
So he was producing the tracks and sending me to them. They were very basic, MIDI tracks for me to write to. And then so 2020 was the year that I did pretty much all of the songwriting. But we did start recording towards the end of 2020, if I remember correctly. I think we recorded Sugar and another song. Yeah, we recorded 2 songs at the end of 2020. I'm pretty sure it was only 2. And then so 20, yeah. I'm getting so lost.
That's
2021, okay. I think, is when most of the recording went down. And I remember when I was writing the album feeling like that was going to be the most difficult stage of the entire process. And then when it came to recording the album, I was like, well, this is fine. Like, I've recorded, I'm always in and out of the recording studio, and it's quick.
Right.
But it actually turned out to be exactly the opposite, because the guy that was recording us, what's the name of the studios? I think I don't want to get it wrong, so I'm not going to say.
Okay.
But this guy called Ian, an amazing guy, he really pushed me to my limits, because usually when I sing, people don't nitpick at anything to do with my voice, and I'm lucky. But at the same time, it meant that I'd never really been challenged vocally, or not for a long time anyway. So he really pushed me, because he would pick out certain I don't know what you would describe it as, but he'd noticed when my voice was going a bit sharp, and no one had ever pointed that out to me before. So I really had to learn to control my voice in a completely different way. And I really benefited from that. Right. But yeah, so I thought the recording then was the difficult bit, and then getting prepared for the release, I was like, no, this is terrifying. But now it's out, I can relax a little bit. But it's been a journey, Everton, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not surprised, Charlotte, because when I'm listening to the songs on the album, it has, and by the way, I must apologize, Scarlett, because this program, this platform that I'm using, I'm still getting to know it. What I ideally would have liked to have had is the songs being played in the background of our interview.
Oh, so that's all right.
Give people an idea. But I haven't quite worked out how to do that. I've even got another phone linked up, and I was going to play it through the other phone, but as if it was somebody else. But I thought it's going to sound, the tracks, it won't do the tracks justice, because it'll be coming through the phone into the microphone. That's not good. So I'm going to put myself on the line here, and I'm going to say, I promise you, the next time we have an interview, I would have had it sorted, and you will hear your dulcet tones and the background music coming across.
Oh, that's all right. I'm sick of listening to it anyway.
In full quality. Okay, so that was a little bit of a insight into what you had to alter then in your usual process of recording.
Yeah.
which is very interesting. And I think that's going to be quite pertinent for people who haven't done this before, and for them to realize that the recording process can be plain sailing, or it doesn't have to be. And you've got to
Yeah.
be prepared
Mm,
for all sorts of different or new experiences.
for
So
sure.
I'm going to ask you if you can describe to us the highs and the lows of the whole process. We're talking, this is like 30-month process, the highs
Yeah.
and the lows. Let's start with the lows. What was there a point where you felt, nah, this ain't gonna happen, or I want to give up now, or what?
Oh my God, so many
Oh
moments
my
like
God,
that. Like
really?
even just like a week ago, right?
What?
Oh my God, I've been a wreck. Like it's just been the most like it's the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life, in the sense, wow, there's just been so many things. So like when I was writing the album, because it was the lockdowns, I felt very impatient. But I was in a routine, and I was like, looking back, that was definitely the easiest part of it, I think. Because I would just every weekend, I was not seeing my friends at all, partly because it was the lockdown, but also out of choice.
Mm,
I was just in my room every weekend writing the songs. And I really enjoyed having that discipline, because I've not always been a totally disciplined person. And I really enjoyed um, finally being someone who was responsible for themselves, let's say.
mhm.
Um, so yeah, writing it, I just felt impatient. Um, there was a low point because in one of the studio sessions, I pushed myself like way too hard, and I tried one of the songs in a key that was way out of my range, and I ended up with laryngitis. So that
Ooh,
was a whole thing. That happened shortly after I last spoke to you, actually. But the really interesting thing about that was I never lost my voice. I really didn't
okay,
have laryngitis that bad,
okay.
but the way it affected my head was crazy. And I'm still like constantly like, oh my God, am I going to lose my voice? Like it's just become this whole thing. So that I had to take a few months out of recording for that.
Okay,
Um, but I am fine. And
good.
I've had
Thankfully,
the help of an amazing voice coach,
good.
um, who like still puts up with my anxiety. Like every time I feel really anxious, I'm like, oh, Kira, like, am I doing this right? Am I breathing correctly? I've got to start getting regular singing lessons. So I seem to benefit from reassurance. But anyway, that was a thing. And then in the run up to the release of the album, I was freaking out because I've just never put out a body of work that's been completely written by me. Like, I've done 2 albums with my band, but I had nothing to do with the writing of those songs at all. So if anyone doesn't like them, I don't care. I didn't write them. They're not about me. They're not about my life experiences. So if someone doesn't like them, it's not going to affect me personally. But obviously, all of these songs I've written about myself. They're all extremely personal. And even if they weren't written about me, it would still be personal because I've written them.
Right.
So like that was crazy. Like in the run up to the album being released, I couldn't sleep. Um, what else was happening? Well, I can't remember, but yeah, I couldn't sleep. So that was fun. And then recently, like a week ago, I kept getting this like mad anxiety, and I can't remember what it was about. I think it was because I've got a couple of solo gigs coming up. And I
Mhm.
just kept like in the middle of the day being like, I think I want to quit. I've got to quit.
Okay.
And I've
Okay.
never ever, throughout my entire career as a
Yeah.
singer, I've never wanted to quit. And all of a
Mm,
sudden, I just had the overwhelming urge to
mm.
hide under my bed for about 4 months. Like it was a really specific thought. I was like, I just need to hide under my bed for 4 months. um, but I've gone over it with a therapist, and now I'm fine again. So
Okay, excellent.
yeah,
All right, so those are the lows. And so
yeah.
tell us about the highs now. And I'm just going to mute my mic, but tell us about the highs.
Sure. So highs are, I am really quite surprised, and yeah, I'm just quite surprised about how high quality the album is. And I'm not saying that to, be a dick, but the album has been produced to an amazing quality, and I'm really proud of the lyrics that I've written. It's everything I wanted from an album for myself. It's not a superficial album at all. Like, I've really thought about the lyrics and the kind of effect that I want. Oh, I don't even know how to talk. The kind of effect. Oh, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I think
But I've
we
really
understand.
thought about the lyrics and the effect that they'll have on people, is what I'm trying to say. So that's a really big high. I have grown up a lot during the process. What else has happened? I don't know. I would just say overall, the main highs have just been that I've developed as a person and as an artist. That's really the biggest high. And I've had some really great support as well from people that I know and people that I don't know. So
Okay,
that's
that's
nice.
brilliant. That's
Yeah.
really cool. And what about things like touring and promotion and marketing and things like that? How are you finding that? What's happening in those departments?
So I've had to kind of teach myself a lot about like self promotion. I mean, I really don't like social media, but I have to do it. And
Join the
like
club.
yeah, like sometimes I kind of like working it out as like a kind of puzzle thing. And other times I'm like, everything on here is rubbish. Um, but it's got to be done. So
hmm
whatever.
hmm
So yeah, I've been promoting myself by doing all the typical things like a photo shoot and posting things, regularly. Got a music video, got some more videos planned. I'd like to arrange more interviews. What else? Yeah, I joined TikTok as well. Like
Yes,
maybe about a year ago, I joined TikTok, and
good.
funnily enough, um, I joined it and I was like, I already know I hate this. But subsequently became fairly addicted to it at one point. But also, I posted a clip of Sugar, and like it went from like 150 views to like 5,000 views
Yes,
overnight, and I was
yes,
getting loads of really lovely comments,
yes,
and it's on 29.3k views now,
yes,
and it
yes,
really boosted Sugar on Spotify and stuff.
yes,
Like people started listening to me more just from
yeah,
that little thing on TikTok, so that was good.
yeah. I think it's surprising, but I've been attending many different seminars on
Mm,
the music business,
yeah,
and it has been so surprising, but so regular, the amount of speakers who talk about the power of TikTok.
I know, it's mental.
It is.
Yeah.
And you have echoed what everyone else has echoed.
Mm,
They may have had minimal response on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
mm,
They put it on TikTok, and
yeah.
not only does it increase on TikTok, but it spreads over to the
Yeah.
others.
Yeah.
And you kind of think, how? Why?
I know.
But
I mean,
some
it's not going to be like that for much longer because more and more people are on the platform. But yeah, it's certainly a good tool. But you have to find a way to not look at it all the time. So, like, if you can just look at it to post something and then just turn it off.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's something that you're doing by for sure, you could get tired of looking at it and listening to it and so on and so forth. But
Mm,
as a promotional tool, I think it's the best one so far because of
definitely.
the reach and the
Yeah. Yeah.
linkage to the others.
Hmm.
And I think you mentioned about the self-promotion. That's the word. You
Mm,
mentioned about self-promotion, and this is why these interviews, I'm trying to give people who are thinking of entering into the music arena, I'm
mhm.
trying to give them an insight into actually what it's like, because
Mm,
it's glossy on the
yeah,
outside to many different people and many different avenues. But when
yeah,
you're in it and you understand, there's a lot of things to take on and to realize and experience. So I'm
yeah, yeah.
glad that you're opening up the reality of what
Mm,
it's like to be a artist who is self-funded, self-promoted,
yeah,
etc.,
yeah, yeah.
etc.
Mm,
And you'll get, I think you will get support, but
yeah,
it's a long time coming because of
yeah,
just the way how the nature of the beast, as it were. Okay, so
yeah.
that's the oh yeah, tours. Any tours then with this music?
Yeah, so there isn't a tour booked quite yet, but I do have 3 gigs in the diary, one of which is this Saturday. Um, the funny thing is we haven't had many rehearsals yet. I've got one tomorrow, and we
Wait,
had
wait,
one.
wait. Your gig's on Saturday.
Oh yeah,
Okay, okay. You heard it here
honestly,
first. You see, this is how confident people can be. We're gonna play on Saturday. We've not rehearsed, but we're gonna do it, and I'm sure you'll be fine.
yeah. I mean, we're going to have to be. The funny thing is, I booked these gigs at the beginning of this year, I think, and I was on tour with my band for a month. Then I had COVID. Then loads of stuff just got in the way of us being able to rehearse. But we have had one rehearsal as a band, then another rehearsal with just me and Matt, and then we've got a full rehearsal tomorrow.
Okay.
Um, it's going to have to be fine,
Yeah,
but
I'm sure it will be.
um, there was like one point when like me and Matt were like, should we just cancel it? Like we're just not ready. And then I was kind of like, no, I think we should just do it anyway. Like the sooner we get this first gig out the way, the better.
Hmm.
And like one of my arguments to Matt was that like, there's going to be hardly anyone there. No one knows who we are. It's going to be totally fine. Well, then, like on Monday this week, I get a flipping email from the venue saying it's sold out.
There you go.
So, like, I'm just going to have to explain to everyone, like, please, can you just be patient with us? Um, so
Oh,
yeah,
that's
I can't
fantastic.
believe it. My first show for my like solo album is sold out. I
Sold
mean, it's
out.
a small venue, so it's not
That's
like a
okay.
totally big deal. But
That's
yeah,
okay. It's sold out. That's
yeah,
what the other people who are going to book you want to hear.
yeah, yeah. So I'm just going to make a really big deal about it on social media.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. So last question. Advice to those who are thinking of doing what you've just achieved. What would you say to them?
Um, crikey. Um, what would I say? I would say be patient with yourself and also the process. Don't rush any of it at all because time flies anyway, but like for sure, don't rush anything. Um, and what else would I say? Um, just all of the stuff I've said, it sounds a bit cliche, but like be really open, be really patient. And I would say if you're a singer, find a really good voice coach and get some singing lessons as well so that you can first of all avoid any kind of voice issues, but also to make sure that your voice is sounding the best that it ever can. um, like along this process I've learned a lot about myself, but also I've learned so much about my voice, and I think my
Mm.
voice might be the best it's ever been.
Oh.
um, so yeah, it's it's been a bit interesting. So yeah, get some singing lessons and be really patient.
Oh, that's fantastic advice,
Yeah,
and that's so important. And
yeah,
let me just say, as a music educator myself.
Mm,
When I listen to your vocals, this is what has amazed me with the use
mm,
of your head resonance, because the head resonance is a little bit weaker in terms of output as well
mm.
as control. And
Uh-huh.
what you've done on the album, it shows very, very good control of the head
Oh,
resonance,
really?
apart from the other. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes.
Oh,
Yes. That is what has made it so awesome to realize that you do that. Because
right.
I was listening to it and I was thinking, okay. And then when you were controlling, I was thinking, okay, so Scarlett has been hiding this from us, and now it's here.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely,
Oh,
definitely.
that's good to know.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to the next one now. I mean, we'll give you a couple of months or
Yeah,
years
no.
to embed this one, but
Yeah,
it's out there now. There's no
I
looking
know.
back.
I know. Well, that was what was funny. As soon as the album was out, I was like, what do I do now? Like, you know, I was thinking of just be like giving Matt a ring and being like, we're gonna have to do a new single, produce something quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh, that's so cool. Well, Scarlett, thank you ever so much for agreeing to share with us insights into the process of you getting your first solo album out. And a big, again, huge congratulations, because it's not easy, but you've done
no,
it. And
thank you.
even though you kind of stuck to your commitment and your objective, because as I said, the last time we spoke was 16 months ago,
Mm,
and here we are talking again, and it's been realized. So well
yeah,
done.
I
Well
know.
done. You should
It's
be proud of
crazy.
yourself and your
Can't
production
believe
team
it.
and producer.
Yeah.
Awesome. And where's the gig on Saturday? Is it somewhere local or is it somewhere
It's
distant?
in Camden, yeah. So
Okay.
all of the gigs I've booked, funnily enough, are in Camden. I've got, yeah, one at a place called the Green Note, on Camden Parkway. It's sold out, so you can't get tickets now. But I've got another one on the 23rd of June in the Camden Chapel. Yeah. And then I've booked another one at the Green Note for later on this year. I haven't posted the details about the event, but that'll be on the 6th of August.
Okay, good.
So yeah.
And we'll be keeping an eye out for anything local.
Yeah, I do intend to perform locally as well. I did like get in contact with the canteen and they didn't reply. And then so I was just like, oh, fine. But yeah, I will book something local soon.
Okay, good. We'll be looking forward to that. Scarlett, well done, and thank
Thank
you
you.
again. And you have proved what we say on this channel, that we revisit. We revisit
Yeah,
the artist. We bring them back and back and back. You're the first one who's come back, so thank you.
good. Well, thanks for having me.
That's all right, and we'll look forward to the next time. In the meantime, take care.
Yeah, you too.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.